On Saturday evening, February 7, 2026, Atlanta Falcons rookie linebacker James Pearce Jr. was arrested in Doral, Florida, following a domestic dispute and subsequent police chase that ended in a vehicle crash. The 22-year-old first-round draft pick now faces multiple serious felony charges, marking a dramatic turn for one of the NFL's most promising young defensive players. According to Doral Police Chief Edwin Lopez, officers were initially dispatched to the police department headquarters in response to reports of a dispute between a male and female. The woman involved in the incident has been identified by authorities as Rickea Jackson, a 24-year-old forward for the WNBA's Los Angeles Sparks. Both Pearce and Jackson attended the University of Tennessee, where they played basketball and football, respectively, before being selected as first-round picks in their professional draft. The sequence of events that led to Pearce's arrest began when law enforcement arrived to investigate the reported domestic disturbance. According to police statements, rather than remaining at the scene to cooperate with the investigation, Pearce fled in his vehicle, prompting officers to pursue him. The chase concluded when Pearce crashed his vehicle at the intersection of Northwest 103rd Avenue and 66th Street in Doral, a suburb located just west of downtown Miami. Officers then took him into custody at the crash scene. Video footage circulating on social media appears to show the arrest, though police have not officially confirmed its authenticity. The footage reportedly shows approximately 7 officers working to subdue Pearce and place him in handcuffs following the crash. Pearce was subsequently transported to and booked into the Turner Guilford Night Correctional Center at approximately 6:58 p.m. on Saturday evening. According to Miami-Dade County jail records, Pearce faces 6 separate charges stemming from the incident. He has been charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, 1 count of aggravated stalking, 1 count of fleeing or eluding police with lights or siren activated, 1 count of aggravated battery of a law enforcement officer, and 1 count of resisting an officer without violence to his person. As of Saturday night, bond had not been set on any of the charges, and Pearce remained in custody at the correctional facility. The charges Pearce faces are serious felonies under Florida law. Aggravated battery with a deadly weapon involves intentionally causing great bodily harm or using a deadly weapon during an assault. In this context, according to some reports, police allege that Pearce used his vehicle as a weapon during the domestic dispute. One report suggests that Pearce rammed his Lamborghini into Jackson's vehicle during the incident, allegedly attempting to prevent her from reaching a police station, though these details have not been officially confirmed by law enforcement in their public statements. Aggravated stalking charges in Florida typically involve willfully, maliciously, and repeatedly following, harassing, or cyberstalking another person while making a credible threat. The fleeing and eluding charge stems from Pearce's alleged decision to leave the scene when police arrived, and his failure to stop during the subsequent pursuit. The additional charges involving law enforcement suggest there may have been resistance or conflict during the arrest process itself, though specific details about these aspects of the incident have not been publicly released. The Atlanta Falcons organization released a brief statement Saturday evening acknowledging the situation. "We are aware of an incident involving James Pearce Jr. in Miami," the statement read. "We are in the process of gathering more information and will not have any further comment on an open legal matter at this time." The statement's carefully worded language reflects the organization's position of waiting for more information before making substantive comments about an ongoing criminal case. This arrest represents a stunning reversal of fortune for Pearce, who had experienced a breakthrough rookie season with the Falcons in 2025. The team had traded up in the 2025 NFL Draft to select Pearce with the 26th overall pick, viewing him as a cornerstone piece for their defensive future. That investment appeared to pay immediate dividends, as Pearce led all Falcons players with 10.5 sacks during his rookie campaign, the most by a Falcons rookie since the Dallas Cowboys' Micah Parsons achieved similar success in 2021. Pearce's impressive performance throughout the season earned him recognition as one of the league's top first-year defensive players. He finished third in voting for the Associated Press Defensive Rookie of the Year award, a remarkable achievement that validated the Falcons' decision to trade up to draft him. In addition to his 10.5 sacks, Pearce recorded 26 combined tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 5 passes defended, establishing himself as a versatile and impactful presence on Atlanta's defense. His ability to pressure quarterbacks and disrupt opposing offenses had made him a building block for the franchise's defensive schemes going forward. Prior to his professional career, Pearce starred at the University of Tennessee, where he developed into one of college football's premier pass rushers. His combination of size, speed, and technical ability made him an attractive prospect for NFL teams seeking to bolster their defensive lines. The Falcons' decision to move up in the draft to secure his services reflected their belief that Pearce could become an elite player at the professional level. The woman identified in the incident, Rickea Jackson, is herself a rising star in professional sports. Jackson was selected by the Los Angeles Sparks as the 4th overall pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, after an outstanding college career at Tennessee, where she was a 2-time first-team All-SEC selection. During her rookie WNBA season in 2024, Jackson played in all 40 regular season games, starting 35 of them, and averaged 13.4 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 1.5 assists per game. Her performance earned her a spot on the 2024 WNBA All-Rookie team. Jackson continued her strong play into the 2025 season, improving her scoring average to 14.7 points per game, while adding 3.2 rebounds and 1.7 assists. The 24-year-old forward from Detroit, Michigan, stands 6'2" and plays a versatile game that combines scoring ability with rebounding and defensive presence. She has established herself as an important piece of the Sparks' rebuilding efforts and was expected to continue developing into one of the league's top young players. The relationship between Pearce and Jackson first attracted public attention in April 2025 during the NFL Draft broadcast, when Jackson appeared alongside Pearce as he was selected by the Falcons. Their appearance together sparked speculation about whether they were dating, particularly given their shared Tennessee background. At the time, Jackson addressed the public interest on social media with a brief response, writing, "Y'all need to mind y'all business," suggesting a desire to keep their personal relationship private. Both Pearce and Jackson attended the University of Tennessee, though they played different sports and were on campus during overlapping but not identical time periods. This shared connection to Tennessee athletics created a natural bond between them, though the exact nature and timeline of their relationship has not been publicly detailed by either party. Representatives for both Pearce and Jackson did not respond to media requests for comment following Saturday's arrest. The legal implications for Pearce are significant on multiple levels. From a criminal justice perspective, he faces serious felony charges that could result in substantial prison time if he is convicted. Aggravated battery with a deadly weapon is a second-degree felony in Florida, punishable by up to 15 years in prison. The other charges he faces also carry significant potential penalties. The legal process will now unfold through the Florida court system, beginning with an initial appearance where bond will be set and Pearce will have the opportunity to enter a plea. From a professional standpoint, Pearce will face discipline under the NFL's personal conduct policy, regardless of the outcome of his criminal case. The personal conduct policy allows the league to suspend players for conduct that undermines or puts at risk the integrity of the NFL, even if no criminal conviction results. The policy specifically addresses violence against women and domestic violence as areas of particular concern, stating that such conduct is unacceptable and warrants significant disciplinary action. The NFL has demonstrated in recent years that it takes domestic violence allegations seriously, implementing suspensions ranging from several games to indefinite bans, depending on the circumstances and severity of the conduct involved. Commissioner Roger Goodell has broad discretion under the policy to determine appropriate discipline. The league typically conducts its own investigation, separate from the criminal justice process, and discipline can be imposed even if criminal charges are reduced or dismissed. For the Atlanta Falcons, this situation presents both immediate and long-term challenges. In the short term, the team must decide how to handle Pearce's roster status while the legal process unfolds. Teams often place players on the commissioner-exempt list when they are facing serious charges, which removes them from the active roster while continuing to pay them, but prohibiting them from participating in team activities. The Falcons' statement that they are gathering more information suggests they are assessing the situation before making decisions about Pearce's immediate status. Long-term, the Falcons face uncertainty about whether Pearce will be available to contribute to their defense in the future. They invested significant draft capital to acquire him and built defensive schemes around his abilities. If Pearce faces an extended suspension or legal consequences that prevent him from playing, the team will need to adjust both their defensive plans and their evaluation of future roster needs. The financial implications are also notable, as Pearce is under a 4-year rookie contract that includes guaranteed money. For Jackson and the Los Angeles Sparks, the situation is equally concerning, though from a different perspective. As an alleged victim in a domestic violence incident, Jackson's well-being and safety are primary concerns. The Sparks organization has not yet issued a public statement regarding the incident, and it remains unclear whether Jackson suffered any injuries. WNBA teams and the league office have increasingly focused on supporting players dealing with personal challenges, including domestic violence situations, though they typically do not comment on individual cases out of respect for privacy. The incident has also drawn attention to the broader issue of domestic violence in professional sports. Despite increased awareness and education efforts by leagues, players' associations, and advocacy groups, domestic violence incidents involving professional athletes continue to occur with troubling regularity. These incidents raise questions about the effectiveness of preventive measures, the adequacy of support systems, and the appropriate responses from leagues and teams when allegations arise. Domestic violence experts emphasize that such incidents often involve complex dynamics, and that public awareness of high-profile cases can serve an important function in highlighting the prevalence of intimate partner violence in society more broadly. At the same time, they caution against rushing to judgment before all facts are known, and stress the importance of supporting survivors while ensuring due process for accused individuals. As this case moves forward, several key questions will need to be answered. What exactly transpired during the domestic dispute that prompted the police call? What evidence exists to support the various charges filed against Pearce? Will prosecutors seek to enhance charges or offer plea agreements? How will Pearce's legal team respond to the allegations? What disciplinary action will the NFL ultimately impose? And perhaps most importantly, what support and resources are being provided to Rickea Jackson as she deals with this situation? The legal process in Florida typically begins with an initial appearance before a judge, usually within 24 hours of arrest, where the charges are formally presented and bond is set. If Pearce posts bond, he may be released pending trial, potentially with conditions such as no contact with the alleged victim, GPS monitoring, or travel restrictions. Given the serious nature of the charges and the fact that Pearce fled from police, prosecutors may argue for high bond or even request that he be held without bond. Following the initial appearance, the case would proceed through various pre-trial proceedings, including discovery, where both sides exchange evidence, potential motion hearings, where legal issues are argued, and possibly plea negotiations. If no plea agreement is reached, the case would eventually proceed to trial, where a jury would determine Pearce's guilt or innocence on each charge. The timeline for this process can vary significantly, but typically takes several months at minimum. Representatives for both Pearce and Jackson have not issued public statements beyond what has been reported by law enforcement and news media. It is common in such cases for attorneys to advise their clients to avoid making public statements that could impact ongoing legal proceedings. As more information becomes available through court filings and official police reports, a clearer picture of what occurred on Saturday evening will likely emerge. This incident serves as a sobering reminder that professional success and recognition do not insulate individuals from making serious mistakes with significant consequences. James Pearce Jr. entered this weekend as a rising star in the NFL, having just completed a rookie season that exceeded expectations and positioned him for a potentially outstanding career. Now he faces criminal charges that could derail that career entirely, along with the possibility of causing harm to another person and damaging multiple lives in the process. For Rickea Jackson, a talented young athlete who has worked hard to establish herself as a professional basketball player, this incident represents a deeply troubling and potentially traumatic experience. Whatever the ultimate resolution of the legal case, the events of Saturday evening will likely have lasting impacts on everyone involved. The coming weeks and months will bring more clarity to this situation as the legal process unfolds, as the NFL conducts its investigation and determines appropriate discipline, and as both the Falcons and Sparks organizations decide how to support their respective players through this difficult time. What began as a domestic dispute on a Saturday evening in South Florida has now become a major story with implications for multiple professional sports organizations, two young athletes' careers, and the ongoing conversation about domestic violence in society and in sports.